In today's video, we're going to talk about what happens when your life is in the dumper. How do you dig yourself out from that mental pit? Coming up next. Hi everybody, my name is Dee Burks and this is Retirement Rescue, where we talk about how to make money, save money, and live your best life. But what happens when your life is completely going south? Everything's going wrong. The job sucks. The relationship sucks. There's dust bunnies in the bank account. You have a bad hair day. Everything's going wrong. What do you do? I think everybody, especially if you have some age on you, you've had periods of time in your life that were absolutely the worst. You got fired. You got a divorce, your kids said they hated you every day for a week, whatever it was, there were times you just felt crushed by life. And you would think, how am I ever going to get out of this? This sucks. Well, one of the things to realize is when you get that overwhelming feeling that life is just dumping on you, to realize that is an emotional reaction to those circumstances. And emotions are temporary, even though they are very strong and they can really drag you down. Those emotions will change. And the problem with those emotions is they give us an altered sense of reality. And then suddenly, like when one thing goes wrong and it alters our sense of reality, every single thing that happens after that we view as negative. It gives us that negative lens and everything is suddenly bad. Now in reality, when you can logically step back from that and you can see, okay, not everything is bad. Not everything is bad. But it's hard to change that perception when you're in the midst of it. Now another thing we all do when things start to go south is we talk about how bad everything is, and then what happens? Everybody else starts dumping all of their bad on you too. It just feels like an avalanche. Well, there are several things you can do to put a halt to that avalanche and start digging yourself out mentally into a much more positive situation where your life will smooth out again. I'm going to take you through 4 steps. There are 4 key things that you can learn to do that will help you take control of the situation, take control of your emotions, and put yourself in a better place. Now understand, with these 4 things, I'm not saying you're not going to feel those emotions. When things are bad, they're bad. It is what it is. And there are times you will have really negative emotions. But the only way you're going to teach yourself to combat those situations is to practice. And so these 4 steps will help you practice combating those emotions, getting yourself into a better place mentally, and dealing with whatever is going on in your life. Now, step number 1 is to step away and think. Sometimes it just means giving yourself a minute. If you're in a bad situation at work and everything is horrible, step outside for a minute. Take a deep breath. Realize the whole world is going on without you. Okay, your situation isn't life or death. No one's gonna die. Unless you work in a hospital, whole different thing. But otherwise, no one's gonna die. You just need to take a deep breath and get a hold of those emotions before they bubble over and make the situation worse. I am a big advocate on occasion of taking a mental health day. There is no reason to work yourself into a frenzy of frustration and spin your wheels at your job if you're not getting anywhere. There comes a time when you have to take a day. And it's okay. For some reason, we think taking a mental health day is like being lazy, but actually you're probably saving your coworkers from your explosion. So just realize that getting yourself together, taking a day for yourself, is a very good thing. This is also true when you're an entrepreneur and when you're working, on things, a business, if you're trading, if you're doing whatever. There are times You need to just take a day away. Working at breakneck speed constantly and getting nowhere isn't helping. Take a day. What you're doing is distracting yourself. Those distractions can be good because it frees your mind from being encased in negativity and frustration. And even if you can't get completely away, you can distract yourself at home. Just go do the laundry, do the dishes, go wash your car, go walk the dog, go hike somewhere. Get away from whatever situation is causing you the grief and give yourself some mental space. I work from home, as do many people right now. And a lot of people are realizing when you work from home, it's much harder to take a mental health day because you're still right there with yourself. So go and do something else. Go and focus on something else. Number 3 is speak with a positive, encouraging person. Now, I'm not saying go run to your family, because let me tell you what, family can be some of the most negative people that exist. They're the ones who are going to tell you, well, I told you not to do that. I told you that job would be a dead end. I told you that business wouldn't work. I told you. That is not helpful. Not helpful at all. And it's very depressing. It will make things worse. If you have friends or family members who do that, or when you tell them a problem will tell you a bigger problem, not helpful. Go to someone who's going to encourage you and tell them up front, hey, I need a little encouragement today. Tell them up front that's what you need. You don't need to hear the bad. But it really helps to bounce ideas off someone. To have someone say, hey, it's okay. You've done this right and you've done this right and you'll get through this. It's okay. That is a good thing. It's that little bit of encouragement you need to hear. And you don't need to hear a lot. It's amazing that just a little bit of encouragement can completely change your outlook. And the last one, number 4, which is probably the biggest one, make a plan. Make a plan. If you go right back to the same situation and you keep banging your head against the same wall, it's not going to improve if you keep doing that. So step back and figure out, okay, is there another way to look at this? Is there a solution to this issue I haven't thought of? You would be amazed at the number of people, especially those of us who work for ourselves, you get in your head, it needs to be done this one way. You got to do it this way. It's got to be done this way. There's no other way to do it. And it's got to happen. And then it doesn't. And for some reason, your mind just can't see any other alternatives. It happens all the time. That is when going to a mentor, going to someone who can encourage you, will help you. It's like when you go and you bang on a door, and you bang on a door, and you bang on a door, and all you see is that door. And then all of a sudden you step back and realize you could have gone around on either side. There's all sorts of options. You could have fixed the entire problem or not even had the problem. But you just couldn't see it. So step back and make a plan. You've got to put in place some ideas to stop it from happening again. You've got to think through those things. I am absolutely a big believer in the idea that people don't think enough. They just start doing. And then they get frustrated. And then they get mad. And nothing works. And then they give up. Because they didn't stop and think through things. It could have saved them a lot of aggravation. And it can save you a lot of discouragement. So take these 4 tips and figure out your best plan to overcome that mental pit. If you've enjoyed this video, please click subscribe, and I'll see you next time.